Welcome back to the Daily Dose. I am Jeff Hansen, your host. Appreciate everybody so far. Quick update. We're 3 or 4 days into the Daily Dose. Nearly 650 subscribers. Thank you so much for the support so far. Please, if you haven't yet, subscribe, like the video, share the video. Really helps us out with that fancy YouTube algorithm, helps us grow this platform, and it will help us as we continue our quest to take over the BYU media world here at give'emhellbrigham.com. Today, I want to talk about Kody Epps. Everybody's talking about Kody Epps at BYU world. He reversed course and withdrew his name from the transfer portal yesterday, and he will stay at BYU. First and foremost, that's shocking. That's awesome news for BYU. Kody Epps, you're better with Kody Epps on your team. There's no question about it. I didn't think it would happen. I went on record thinking it wouldn't happen. Everybody I talked to thought that it wouldn't happen. And for Kody Epps to make his own mind up, and we'll talk about that in a second, but to change his own mind and reverse course, that's huge. And it says a lot about how much he loves BYU. It's a huge win for the Cougars on the field, and it's a huge win for the Cougars off the field. Why did Kody enter the transfer portal? Well, that's up for him. I mean, that's his story to tell. But I do think he had a lot of advice. There were a lot of people talking to him, and he felt like he needed to go and see what was out there. But it didn't take long after seeing what was out there for him to realize that he really, really enjoys where he's at right now and to reverse course and come back to BYU. BYU also added Darius Lassiter to the wide receiver room during that 4 or 5 days that Kody was in the transfer portal. So suddenly, about a week ago, the wide receiver position was looking pretty bleak. Now BYU looks like they're in pretty good hands. But the challenges aren't over yet. BYU needs to add another body or two at the wide receiver spot, sure. But it will be interesting to see how Kalani Sitake's culture, how his locker room culture is tested with the re-addition of Kody Epps to the transfer portal. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but most of the time when players enter the transfer portal, generally speaking, those coaches don't allow those players to come back. Obviously, with a player like Kody Epps, of course, you make that exception and you bring him back onto the roster. But generally speaking, those scholarships go away. And that's across the board. That's not a BYU specific thing. That's a general rule that most college coaches seem to have implemented that, hey, if you're going to transfer from my school, we're done as soon as you hit that portal. BYU's culture is unique this year. This team seems to have a camaraderie and a chemistry that we haven't seen in Provo since maybe Max Hall, Austin Collie, Dennis Pitta, since those days 13 or 14 years ago. This team feels unique. I don't think it's going to be any issue. I think the team will welcome Kody Epps back onto the roster with open arms, but this will be a test for the culture. This will be a test for the locker room. I think it's a test BYU is going to pass with flying colors, but it's something that we're going to have to watch over the course of the next few weeks, how Kody reassimilates and regains the trust of his teammates after shocking all of them and entering the transfer portal just a few days ago. Please subscribe to the Daily Dose for daily content, short form videos talking about the biggest news in BYU sports. Like the video, share the video. Thank you all so much for your support. Until next time.